Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Mark and this is my 1979 Ferrari 308 GTS. Now, with the great British weather as it currently is, we've got heavy rainfall, a lot of the roads are flooding, so I've not been able to go out and do the long test drive that I was planning to do to see if I've resolved that intermittent fault. So while I'm waiting for everything to dry out, I'm going to turn my attention to some of the smaller bits that still need looking at. First of all is going to be that left-hand cooling fan. Now, at the end of the last video, I had taken it out for a short test drive and noticed that that one wasn't quite working as it should.
So after a nice little run out, you can see then that that left-hand fan is working and the right-hand fan just not even doing anything. So definitely got to do more investigation there. So once again, we've got the front bumper and the grille removed, and I've managed to remove the faulty fan without having to remove the radiator, which is good news. It wasn't straightforward, but I've got it out and I've got it dismantled. So on dismantling the fan, there was a couple of items that became very apparent as not being correct. The first was this base plate that holds the brushes. Obviously, it should not have a big gaping hole in it like that. You've got these two holes here. Exactly the same scenario was there, and it held another one of these cups, same as this side, that holds the brush, and that sits either side of here, making a connection. Now, I think what had happened is this is broken off and it's shifted the whole thing in, because the other thing that's happened is that's the good spring from this side, and that's the spring that's come out of that side. So, you know, it's absolutely destroyed it. Now, the same thing happened with the old fan, which is why I sort of bought a new one to try and make up a good fan. Obviously, the outer casing of this new one matched, whereas the other one didn't. So it's obviously an issue with these fans. Now, these are made of Bakelite, so it's obviously just become brittle over time, and I don't think you can buy these anymore. So my lovely wife bought me a 3D printer for my birthday, so I've been having a play, and I've done a few trials, and now I'm at number 5, and I'm pretty happy that that is pretty much the same as the original. Obviously, I'd had these back to front before. They're not the same, they are actually opposite, but because that had broken out, I didn't actually realise till after I'd got to number 5. But once that's sitting directly over, it's pretty much spot on. So I'm quite happy with that final trial. So I've brought some brown filament, and I'm going to start now printing out the final copy, put it together, and let's see how it looks. There's the originals there now, and then the final product that had a change of print settings that made it just that little bit stronger as well is now pretty close to the original, and then that will just sit in the plate like that. And here's one I prepared earlier. So hopefully now that and all these parts can be reassembled, and that will now be a working fan. Okay, so moment of truth. The fan is now back in place with some temporary connections. Get the power on. Oh yes. Houston, we have liftoff. Now just check out this lucky find here. Look, got some genuine service parts from Lucas, which includes a set of brushes and springs in their original wrapping, which is just timely, because now I can rebuild this one up with new brushes and replace that broken spring, build it back in, and that's going to give me a spare fan.
So with that now taken care of, the next thing I wanted to look at whilst the car is sitting around waiting for the better weather is the maintenance of the battery. So I've just bought myself a CTEK battery charger and maintainer, and a separate eyelet connector as well. So hopefully this will make access to the battery or charging and maintaining it a lot simpler. Now, the battery itself is sat in the sort of front wheel well. It's underneath there. There's a cover with a couple of screws in it, and then the spare tyre sits above it. So it's not immediately accessible. It's not a nightmare, but it's not immediately accessible. So I'm kind of hoping with one of these, it should be just that little bit easier.
So that was a fairly easy install. So the connection pieces come with M6 loops. Now, I think they're supposed to go on this bolt here, but this bolt is bigger than the M6. So I've just put them on the screw, on the clamp for the cable. So that fitted fine. So hopefully that's going to be okay. I've now got the extension cable that I knew that I was going to need, and they just clip together. That's quite a good firm connection. Then I have routed the cable around the side, round here, underneath this cover, and I have brought it back out again
where the other cables sort of poke out there. They're just quite a neat and convenient spot for it to come out. With the wheel back in place, I brought the cable up through the gap in the wheel, so when I'm not charging, the cable can store then in the well of the wheel, and then when it is, it's nice and accessible to get to. I can just pop the charger on there, and it's going to charge and maintain. So in the last test drive, I found that some of the switchgear around the steering column wasn't working quite as it should. For example, the indicators weren't self-cancelling and the horn just kept going off. Quite embarrassingly, just kept going off. Anyway, so I stripped it down again, and I think I have sussed out what the issues were. So first of all was the placement of this ring here. It just kind of clips into place, but it can clip anywhere. I mean, it can rotate all the way around. There's nothing to stop it at all. But what it does have is these two lugs here, which are actually the self-cancelling part of the indicator. So they've got to be positioned there. So we've got an indent top and bottom, and that then is supposed to sit on over these two, holding it into place. So then that turns whilst this turns, which obviously holds the steering wheel in place. The second issue was the horn. Now, I have just done a solder on here. I know it's not the neatest, my soldering is not the best, but it's certainly better than what was on there before. Now the cable itself, the previous one that had been repaired, it was a thicker cable, and that comes in through this hole here, like so, but then you've got then the retaining nut, and then to secure that in place, you've got this special tool that slots over there, which then ends up trapping the cable in. Now once you've got a socket on here and you start turning it, it's naturally it's going to want to start pulling on that cable. And I think what had happened as I was doing it up before, the old cable got trapped, and then the outer sheath got shredded, and then it was constantly earthing on here, which is why the horn kept going off. So I put a new cable on there now. I've aligned everything correctly, so hopefully now we can put it back together again and get it back out on the road. So we've got a sunny afternoon finally. It is beautiful out here. I can get the car out for that test drive I have been dying to do. Now the roads are still a little bit wet, a little bit muddy in places as well, so not really ideal, but just wanted to get the car out. Few issues. Yesterday I went to take the car out and fill it up with fuel, and it started, but then conked out, and it was down to the fuel pump. It was basically a dodgy earth where I'd rebuilt the fuel pump to make it look pretty. I'd given it a coat of paint, and of course then it wasn't earthing to the bracket properly, so I had to clean that up. And once I did, she fired up first time and is running very nice indeed. So I'm out this afternoon grabbing most of some of the dry weather with my good friend Colin in his lovely QV. I'm hoping to get a few miles and just see how it's running and make sure that I've covered all those faults. Test the fan again, have a look at that. The battery was nicely charged. Like I said, it started absolutely on the button the first time earlier. Considering it's been a few weeks since we've been out, that is really good. So let's do this test drive. Let's see, fingers crossed, if I've resolved all the issues. So we're 27 miles into our little jaunt, and everything is working perfectly, although I've probably jinxed it now, but we'll carry on. Well, that's around a 40-mile circular test drive, and she's run absolutely faultlessly. It's just been a real joy to be back out in this car again. So that means that now she's running really well, I can turn my attention back to the aesthetics. I've got some work in the interior here, and I've also got that replacement front bumper. So I'm just on my way now for the school pickup, and until next time, thanks very much for watching. Cheerio.